Hey, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Now, you guys, you probably all know Ursula, OMGrannySquare. You know, the thing that is so exciting to me, Ursula, is that I got to know you like way back when I was first starting my channel and before you even started your channel. So,
When you did the 5 a.m. crowd,
so
that's I was part of the 5 a.m. crowd.
So I am so excited to have you today and have you here. Thank you so much for coming this morning.
It's wonderful.
So, if you don't mind, for those of you, for anybody on the channel right now who are watching the show that doesn't know you, can you tell us, like, about yourself, how you started out with your YouTube channel and crocheting and everything?
Yes, well, I started in lockdown because, yes, there was no work. So I had to do something. I'm one of those people, if there's an emergency, I need to do something. So I started, I was sitting, I tell you what, I was sitting in my chair next to my bed and I was having quiet time with the Lord, bemoaning my lot. Why? Why did I don't have a job now? Why this? Why that? Why that? And you know, there's a piece in the Bible that the Lord says to the prophet, says to this widow, "What do you have in your house?" And I said to myself, "Well, what do I have? I know how to raise a child with autism, and I can crochet, but that's nothing." So, and then out of that, you know, sometimes you need to get into the little car and start driving, and then the Lord just shows you where to go. But anyway, and then while I was sitting there, this channel name came to me. I was thinking, OMG, oh my God, because I was speaking to God, and then I thought, OMGrannySquare, because it's my favorite thing. And it just stuck. So that's how the channel name came about. So, yes, I live in South Africa. What else do you need to know? I love to crochet. Granny Squares is my favorite thing. Until Ginger put me onto Entrelac. That is totally Ginger inspired. I saw it on the back of her chair whenever. She was sitting and an Entrelac blanket used to lie on the back of her chair as she was sitting right there now. And I used to check that thing out and I thought, I want to make that. And I never even knew it was Tunisian crochet, otherwise I wouldn't have touched it. But yes, so there we now have one. So, and because I was one of the 5 a.m. crowd, and when you stopped, I literally had withdrawal. And I only lasted 7 days. And then I thought, I have to press that button and go live or die. Then I started going live. So, yes, so thanks to Ginger, I started my live streams. Never ever thought when I started my channel I was going to go live. So, yeah. Anyway.
That makes me so happy.
So you're my role model in more than one sense. So that is good.
Gosh.
The way I love the way you did your live streams and that you sort of took the time to. It's like you saw us, you know. Here we were on the opposite side of the world, and you saw us. So that was just fantastic. Anyway, so I decided if I ever go live, I want to do it the same as Ginger does it. Yes, and anyway, and then I did it. Coffee in my cup. What is in your cup?
Oh, I am so sorry. I got a phone call and it
happens.
It threw me right off. So
it happens.
I'm so sorry.
No, it happens.
Okay, but now you are a pro at live streams.
So, hey, I learned from the best. You know, when you look and learn, until one day you have to do it. And then, you know, Julie, the whippy chick, she was the first one to invite me on a live stream, and she phoned me an hour before the time. I was so nervous. I'm like, huh? I just quickly wash my hair, smack on the makeup, and there we were, and we were talking all over each other because there was a little bit of a delay because she's in the USA, I'm in South Africa, and it was, I didn't know what, you know, I talk and then she talks. There was a bit of a delay, but we did it. Oh, but it's early days. It just shows you that we can all do it. We just learn. Be prepared to learn new things. Absolutely.
That's right. I just saw right here, Renee said, I would like to do a live stream, but scared to do it. Renee, we were all scared.
Start with someone else. Do it like we do it. Go on a Monday and a Friday, for instance, I go live and I drop the link always. So, and it's to encourage other people who don't have YouTube channels yet, or maybe never want to, but maybe you have confidence to just click that link, come up, and sometimes there's an echo and sometimes whatever, and we just help you right there, you know, and say, just do this, and I'll mute you so that nobody's ears fall off. And so
that's right. That's right. The thing about it is do it with friends, and it's gonna, like, the first 100 times, maybe the first 20 times,
are
gonna be perfect. But the thing is you just keep on doing it. It's just like a baby learning to walk. You know, a baby is gonna fall down every single time until it doesn't anymore. And
it'll become your comfort zone. You just have to get there until it's no longer scary. Maybe you still get butterflies before every live stream. Will they come? Will I have technical issues? But if you see how kind the people in this community is, and how loving and how just supportive they are, they don't all run away just because you're echoing today, or you're buffering, or you're whatever. There's always someone who wants to come up, and they will. I mean, I definitely need people on my live stream because I sometimes have to just go down, like you had to go down now, and fix whatever problem and come back up within 30 seconds or whatever. So it happens.
Well, it happens. And I got to tell you, this is kind of a little off track a little, but I have, I'll go on to other YouTubers live streams that are maybe working on their YouTube channels. And I went on, I don't know if you've ever heard of Think Media. Sean Cannell.
Yes.
I was on his Coffee with Cannell show one day, and he was talking to me about my channel, and he fell off. And it was like, oh, I'm here by myself on Think Media.
Oh my goodness.
It was crazy. But then one of the people down in the basement, you know, one of his assistants came up and said, oh, something's going wrong. So luckily I'd been doing lives for like 3 years already. So, but see, it happens to everybody. And so I've seen a few more people in the chat here talking about doing live streams. And me and Ursula are nothing but, we're all encouragement. Do it. All you got.
Yes.
And really all you have to do.
If you don't try.
That's exactly. And I don't know if what is the subscriber at right now, the number for going live on YouTube? I heard it went down.
You know what? Even when I started my channel, they used to say it used to be whatever it was. The point is, I never listened to that. I just put StreamYard on my phone, and I streamed on my phone.
Yeah.
I never did it through YouTube. It doesn't work for me through YouTube because my laptop doesn't work the way it should work on the camera and the whatever. So StreamYard has just been my friend throughout live streaming. And with StreamYard, you hardly need subscribers. You can just live stream because it's a live streaming thing. It's an app, and there you go, So.
And it's free. You can do the free version. It has some paid versions, but the free version works great.
Yes. I mean, if you want to start off, do the free version, and you can have X amount of people up. You can have 20 hours. If you exceed your 20 hours, they won't cut you off midstream. They just won't let you book another live stream.
Right.
So I find them very accommodating, so yeah.
Yeah.
Only good things to say.
And I have found since, well, especially doing the Yarn Geek and Friends lives, I went up to the big level, and I've been recording like I the big level with the
No, but you
perfect.
know what? It makes me think because you're so tiny. It makes me think of you on a big truck, and I'm like you on the big level. I want to see that. You know,
Yeah, I'm in the
that's
big
so
level.
cool.
But I got it so I could record, you because you can do cool things with it, like recording the whole live stream. So
Yeah.
you have it in your like in your library,
Yes.
so that you can
Yes.
come back and you know, do more stuff with it,
Yes.
make videos out of it or whatever. Oh, Deneen
Yes.
just asked, Ginger, do you know approximately who were part of the original 5 a.m. crew? Well, I know Ursula was, and Deneen was, and Jamie was. I saw her in here,
There's a
Butterbean.
lot of people that was.
Yeah.
They can just put a hashtag 5 a.m. in the chat if you were part of that. If you were
Perfect.
part of the 5 a.m. crew, you can put a hashtag 5 a.m. because there was a lot. I remember that used to be 12 noon my time. Then one day I was at my desk having lunch 12 noon and Ginger's not there, nothing happening. I didn't know about fall back. We don't fall back and spring forward. We've just got one time and that's the time. And
Yeah.
then 1 o'clock you came on, my time, that time. And I'm like, yes, okay, it's just that.
It
So
was just time changes always mess me up because now, especially being here on YouTube, the time changes all over the world, and different time, I mean, not time changes, but time zones. And so
yes.
keeping everybody's time zones has been a real learning curve for me.
The only one I've got memorized is Eastern time. So I know I'm 7 hours ahead of Eastern time. And when you fall back, or no, when you spring forward closer to me, it's
Mm-hmm.
6 hours. So that's the only one I've got memorized. So I
That's okay.
waited on Monday to go and see what everybody's notification said so that I knew what time must go live tomorrow to still be 11 a.m. Eastern. So, yeah, because
That's
it's summer for us. We're in the southern hemisphere, so we're heading for a, we have our summer is sandy beaches, you know, hot weather. We don't have snow and cold.
that. Tell me about, okay, this is way off of crochet, but I want to know what your weather is like in South Africa because it's such a it's a total different world, for me here in Kansas.
Yeah.
And
It's like subtropical. So we don't have the terrible storms that you have, and we don't have. I don't think we have terrible heat. We have quite good weather.
I can,
Yes, I can knit. I can knit.
whoa, okay,
I
yeah.
love to knit.
Well,
I knit. Cables is my favorite. Yes, actually Gauteng, which is our northeastern province, is known for the best weather, because even in winter they're very cold, but they have summer rains.
mhm.
Whereas we in the Cape Town is wet in winter, not very cold. Well, according to world standards, probably not very cold. A cold day here would be between probably 2 to 8 degrees Celsius, which is, if you want to do a quick conversion, it is Celsius times 2. So if it's 10 Celsius, then your times 2 is 20, and you plus 30. So that's 50 Fahrenheit. So that's just a quick, I had to learn that when I was getting to know the Americans.
Yeah,
Get to know what is Fahrenheit.
it's crazy because I learned the same thing when I was getting to know all of the Canadians.
Oh, right.
Then learning the whole Celsius thing because there was never any need to learn to switch it over before. But now it is because when somebody says it's 8 degrees, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that is freezing cold. But no.
And then it's Celsius. But even for us, below a double digit Celsius, below a double digit Celsius is cold
Yeah.
because we're not used to that I mean, for us, the low teens are cold.
Mm-hmm.
So we will probably be very cold when we get to you in your winters.
Oh,
you know.
yeah. Yeah, it hasn't been as cold.
When you get here, you'll love the weather and you'll like, this is not cold, is this winter? What do you, but I know there's one complaint that the foreigners have about South Africa, and that is that our homes are not equipped for the cold. So we don't have that heating. What do you have?
Like the
Central heating. It's not common to homes. If you have air conditioner, you probably can afford it. And yes, so we sort of dress just a few degrees. You've seen me on live streams. I look like I'm come from, I'm like an Eskimo. It's because it's only a few degrees warmer than outside. That's why.
Yeah. But that's, I did see whenever I was making your thumbnail for your pictures, you had all the tropical plants in the background. And I was like, oh my gosh, that looks like the best place ever to live.
You will think we are on sale because our currency is quite low. I think it's, is it 18 rands to the dollar for $1? So my go-to yarn would be like 150, your currency.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
And it's soft and good and everything. It's not even on sale. That's regular price.
Wow. That's amazing. What's your go-to yarn called? Like, what's the name of it?
You can, well, okay. So we have different kinds because this is my favorite color.
Okay.
Shocking pink. And for someone whose favorite color is shocking pink, I have shockingly little pink, except Crocs, pink Crocs. So, but this is charity, and it used to be scratchy. It used to be, you used to lift your nose to this. It's too scratchy. But they did something to this, and now this is soft. I don't know if they changed the formula or what. But this comes from Turkey, and then when it gets here, they slap their label on it.
Okay.
Our label on it. And then this is directly from Turkey. Kartopu is, Linda, who knows Turkish, says this means snowball. Kartopu, is it Kartopu? Yeah, snowball. Well, there it is, snowball.
My mom has a lot of the Kartopu.
Yes, so this is also like the same, $29. I'm sorry I'm not following the chat, so hello to anybody I might have missed, but I'm so focused on being able to answer her questions that I really don't want to miss anything.
That is okay. I have a hard time when we're doing the interviews too of being in the chat also because I don't want to miss anything you say. So you guys, I'm sorry if I miss anything. I did see Llama V. Thank you, new member. I need to get one of those little sound effects.
Veronica's been doing a lot of markets and working so hard. I used to do markets way back when my kids were small, but I used to sell cookies, biscuits, or what do you call it? Cookies. And it's like these German cookies with a lot of spices in it. Jessica used to wake up and she used to say, oh, Mama, the whole table was full. But it wasn't. The thing is just that she was, 4, 5, and the table was yay high. And so they had all these shapes, and I would be selling this at the library. The local library had a market every Saturday. So,
wow, that's
for the days.
Because I also did at farmers market. I sold chocolate chip cookies for a few summers.
Oh,
with my mom.
Yes.
So, yeah, I was making chocolate chip cookies for the farmers market. Wasn't crocheting anything for the farmers market because they have a thing here where if you don't actually grow the wool, you can't.
Okay.
Farmers market, which I was like, but I can sell cookies that I didn't grow the stuff.
Yes. You see, you've got to think outside the box. Creative people. We are creative. All of you are creative because even if you see a pattern or you see a tutorial, you change it.
Yeah.
You do it up to a certain point and you say, oh, I'm not going to do that border. I'm going to put another border around it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure. And, I do it all the time. I will very rarely follow a pattern exactly like it's written. Because
yes, to the end.
Yeah, because I want to do something a little different. But sometimes I
You
do.
want to do it your way. I want to do it my way.
That's right. Except for when I'm pattern testing, then I have to do it.
Oh yes. I did pattern test for Reggie. I've never before that did it, but I've done it for Reggie, Me Crochet.
Yeah.
And yes. I was telling Ginger that the last time I was on her live stream was when she was doing something with a baby, something on a Wednesday, and one of the grandchildren needed her, and she said, "Can someone come up?" And Reggie from JO Crochet and I came up, and the two of us, because it was a Wednesday afternoon for us, so we sat and just checked the chat and read and whatever, and until you. Or I think the baby was crying or something. I can't remember what, but I remember that was the last time I was on your live stream. Not the last time I was in a chat, but the last time I was on. Yeah, so that was so cool.
Of course, because you do. How many live streams do you do a week? You have
two. A Friday, the Monday early morning, and 6 a.m. something like that, and then 6 a.m. Eastern time. For 2.5 to 3 hours, and then on a Friday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern time, for 3 hours. So that's my evening. I tell you, by the way, that's my evening. Now it'll be 6 to 9 p.m. my time. So I end of the week with you guys. And then, but for you guys, it's 11 to 2 p.m. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern time.
So right in the middle of the day. That's a good.
In the middle, Cyril. In the middle.
Now, do you also have members lives too on top of that?
I only have a members live once every second month.
Okay.
So I do have memberships, and I try to always, even I think one should, for those of you who are thinking of doing memberships, I would say, under promise and over deliver. That is the safest way to go. Don't make it something stressful. Make it something that you can keep up, that costs you little, but gives a lot of value. The thing is with YouTube is you don't want to burn out. Stay away from burning out. And if you want to do it for the long haul, just have these little things like you follow this guy. What do you call him now? Think Media.
Oh, yeah.
The girl I follow is Annie Dube. We say a Dube because actually in South Africa, that is a common Xhosa surname, Dube.
Okay.
So I actually thought she was African American. And then I saw her, I'm like, wow, you're not, and your surname is Dube.
Yeah,
so interesting.
I watched her a lot too, and I saw that she kind of went down for a while. She wasn't posting as much, but she's been posting more.
I mean, I think we all have been there. So she also went through a period and of a bit down and whatever, but she's back. She gives great advice, and it's always just these 10-minute videos. And yes, so yeah.
Yeah, all
I want to say is under promise and over deliver. That's the safest way to go.
I agree 1,000%, having been one that has fallen into the,
you want to give a lot, but the thing is, can you keep it up without burning out, and then to have to change your membership? So rather promise little and give more than is expected of you than promise too much.
Absolutely. And that can even happen. I found out even just making a schedule for my channel. If I schedule when I'm feeling very motivated, and if I make a schedule while I'm feeling very motivated, even just following that schedule
promise the moon.
For times
when
when you're down, it's like sometimes it's impossible, to stay up all the time. But but we still.
Do you take time away from YouTube? Because I do. I go live on a Monday and a Friday, and otherwise I used to go live on a Wednesday with Linda. And but now, and take Tuesdays and Thursdays off. Like literally, I wake up and I know I don't have to switch anything on.
Right.
And I find if you do that, you have more to bring, more, can I say, normality to bring? Because
Sure.
to me, being too much social media can make you a little bit crazy, crazy. I tell you. And so you definitely need a break from social media every so often. So if you have that, if it's the most wonderful feeling for me to wake up on a Tuesday morning and know, free. It's so relaxing to know I don't have to switch anything on. I can even take my son and go to the mall and let's have lunch together and do something, with your family. And on a Wednesday, on a Thursday, and then because sometimes, well, even on the weekends is busy time for YouTube and live streams and attending and even being there. So I'm not live streaming on a Saturday and a Sunday, but I like to attend. But you guys only come up from lunchtime onwards. I'm like, I've got to wait a long time. So yes, will someone please go live now?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true. And I think for a long time, I was trying to do it on, I have my granddaughters on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays all day. And when she was younger and she would take naps, it was a little easier to, like get in there, work on a video, do some things, maybe for my channel. But now I've just realized she's 2.5 and I am going to get nothing done on my channel on Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And, working around that and sometimes it's hard to crochet around a 2.5-year-old too.
But she's not going to be 2.5 for a very long. So it's also precious time you don't want to miss out on. So you can always, when she has to go, to school or whatever in a few years' time, you've got that time back. But you can't get the time back with her. So I've sort of had to self-talk like that and say, if when you are ready to leave this world, what are you going to miss? You're going to miss YouTube time. You're going to miss spending time with people that you love. Yes. So just getting that balance, being balanced is very important because it gives you energy. And it also, to me, if I've been watching something, reading something, having normal life, then I can come to my live stream and say, what have you guys been reading? What have you been watching? Check out this book. Check out this movie. Or, so, we crochet on my live streams and we talk about yarn and crochet and knitting, which is 3 different hobbies. So, but we can also talk about anything our knitting ladies, crochet ladies, go through,
I was watching some of your videos last night and I love just where you're sitting and crocheting with the music in the background.
Oh, the Watch Me Crochet series. Yes. The thing is, I've been so wanting to watch that on YouTube and I Googled it and I found one from Anya, 1 or 2 from Anya, one from someone else. And I think that was about it. So I decided I'm going to do that more for myself than actually for someone else, which also means, what if the thing is, I do crochet in a week. So now I have the option to just record 1 hour of that, put some music to it, and put it out on a Sunday, just every Sunday. But then what if I don't have something for that week? Then I say to myself, like our DIY creations always say, my queen of motivation, relax, because YouTube is supposed to be your happy place. No stress. So if you don't have something, so what? Is the world going to crumble? Nothing that's going to happen. Just when you've got something again, you put it on. So if all else fails, my live streams still stand. The 2 live streams a week. Whether there's a crochet tutorial or not, and I do have a lot of crochet tutorials on my channel, but whether there is a tutorial coming out this week or not, It's okay. I say to myself, it's okay. When the inspiration strikes, you'll have another one. And that's okay. So it's just being real, because I'm not someone who has people working for me churning out patterns. Like, it's just me. It's a one-man show. You know, when something goes wrong, you don't have an IT guy to call down the hall. Hey, can you come and check this out because this is not working? It's you, me, I'm the one. I'm the go-to, the gopher, the hostess.
Right. The one-man team. We
Yes.
are one women person teams.
Yes. So you be kind to yourself. That's also one thing I learned. I think not last year, the year before, my goal was to try and be kind to self. Because if someone says something to me, then I'm more harsh on myself than anybody else. So I thought to myself, if this happened to Jessica, what would I tell her? And if I can give her encouragement and be kind to her, why can't I be kind to me? So I had to, for a whole year, I made it my mission. So then after that, it becomes second nature, you know? So,
yeah.
Anyway. But I
love it. I feel like I'm getting a pep talk here. I love it.
Peter, I mean, you are an inspiration. I mean, why are you so popular? Because I looked at you and I thought, this girl is just so nice, so friendly, so relatable. It's like, of course, that's why I had withdrawal after 5-7 days of no ginger. No, I've got to see somebody in my lonely corner here at the tip of South Africa, at the African continent. I have to connect to someone out there. Press go live. And you know, one thing I must tell you as well, that you know, these people that you listen to, and part of the advice we got was, don't listen to too many people. Pick one or two and listen to them. It's to respect your numbers. If 5 people came to my live stream, I'm happy, because I must imagine them in the room with me. My room would be nearly full. I mean, I don't know, this room is not big. We would be having a party, just the 5 of us, because I'm more of an introvert. So for me, I literally only need one more person to have a party. Or me and a book is a party. The introvert part.
Same, like audiobooks. Audiobooks are great.
Yes.
Sometimes, I got to say, sometimes we have members live where we can come up and talk on Discord. And lately, sometimes it's fun just to sit back and listen to everybody talk, because it's like, this is awesome. I love hearing everybody talk. You guys know who you are out there watching. Deneen, JD.
That's why I tell you, if you can, I am not going to lift up. If I watch a live stream and there's an ad, I'm not stopping crocheting to skip ad.
Right.
No, that ad can run. I know that person is getting some AdSense, and I'm just continuing because the fun's going to go on in a minute. And maybe it's a bathroom break. So if there's something where I don't have to stop crocheting, that's the best thing.
Yeah. Oh, look, Renee asked a good question. She says, Ginger and Ursula, do you think it would be a good idea to do a live stream on my Christmas showing off my hats? I think that would be wonderful, Renee. I think I'll be there. I'll be at your live stream. I'll be watching in the chat.
I think it's always a good idea. I go live my live streams happens on Mondays and Fridays, whether it's Christmas, New Year, whatever day it is.
Yeah.
It's just, to me, it's Monday or it's Friday. So
yeah. Because sometimes there are times whenever you don't have it scheduled, but it's like, I just want to pop in and say hi to everybody, you know.
Pop up live. Oh, that's always lovely.
Yeah, those are fun.
Love that. Yes. Love a pop up live.
Yeah. I did it, I think, last Thanksgiving. I did it on Thanksgiving morning. I was making my turkey and all that kind of stuff. And
we don't do turkey, you know. Do we even have turkeys here? We do chicken and leg of lamb and gammon. No, leg of lamb and gammon is the Christmas meal. But you see, we don't do Thanksgiving.
Right, because you're in a different...
We don't do what's that other thing you've got? Halloween. We don't do Halloween. So yeah, that's new to me. And okay, as I am certainly 100% not making fun about the celebration of the pumpkins, like it seems, but it's not. Not to me, it's weird, but I am so with it because you guys make the most beautiful things with pumpkins.
And
So it's beautiful. It's just
lattes.
we just don't have a vegetable that we celebrate. And I know you're not celebrating the vegetable, but it was just everywhere I look, it's just okay, we're gonna be going for pumpkins this month again. It's pumpkins everywhere. But it is beautiful fall decorations. Beautiful. And I think South Africans have watched enough American movies to be quite clued up with your culture to a degree. I mean, yeah, we say a rubbish bin instead of trash can, and we use different words, but we sort of get there.
Right. Now, what are some holidays that you guys have that you celebrate and do that we don't have over here? We need to get an education in some South African cultural things.
I don't know if you have Heritage Day. We do have Heritage Day because we are like the Rainbow Nation. So we have so many cultures here that on Heritage Day, you get to celebrate your culture, which is usually, I think it's about 24 September. I stand corrected now. But, and it's usually, so September is when we have spring. So 1st September is spring, announcement of spring. So 24 September is sort of into spring, 24 days already. So it's usually a good day, a day with good weather. And in my culture, which is Afrikaans, we do braaivleis, which is your barbecue. But we say braaivleis, which is literally braai is what? It's the meat on the action of on the fire, turning it on the fire. But it's not a verb. You can use it as a verb,
like
but when it's 2 words. But what is the word for a chair? What is a chair? A chair is it's not a verb. It's a
seat. Like a
no, but a chair is not an action, right? So it's not a verb.
Oh,
it is a.
Okay, gotcha.
So that is what a braaivleis is. If it's one word, that it's an event, and it's something that we love to do. And we can use charcoal, but on average they use wood and real meat. I always say real meat. Don't stone me, but it is real meat, like not patties or whatever. It's chops,
like on ribs, the bone. It's like you can take
meat.
It's like the piece of the animal that it came from.
It's real meat.
That's like barbecue a lot. I mean, some people will throw burgers on and hot dogs, but mostly barbecue here in the States is you're gonna barbecue a chicken or some ribs or something like that.
Yes, yeah. That is what we do. Yes, yeah. So that's very popular.
That's making me want barbecue right now. It sounds so good. Well, good morning to everybody coming in. Hi, Sunita. And pit roasting. Ooh, have you ever pit roasted anything?
Yes. Oh, yes. We love the roasting thing, period. We love the roasting thing.
I saw this thing where it was like in one of the like Indonesia, somewhere like that, or it might have even been in Hawaii. It was someplace that had tropical, beautiful islands. They dug a big pit. They wrapped the pig in banana leaves. And threw it in like big, huge banana leaves. And that was like the tin foil to wrap it in or whatever. But then, they roasted it with the hot coals in the dirt for, I don't know how long it was. But it was just
It's like smoking it. Is it like smoking it? Because we also do it on spit braai, which is on a spit, not in a pit, on a spit, and this whole thing is turned, and it's a huge thing.
Well, Christine says in Hawaii they call it Kaloa Pig.
Ooh, wow, Christine!
Do you guys wrap it in the banana leaves? I was just like, that blew my mind. I was like, don't the banana, wait a minute, don't the banana, I was very stressed out about it. Like, don't the banana leaves burn? And apparently they don't. It was,
Yeah, I think the banana leaves can take it for sure.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So what kind of like fresh fruit and vegetables and stuff grow in South Africa?
Well,
Like,
anything that you can think of. We export a lot of our fruits.
like, do you have
But
apples and oranges?
yes,
Like same stuff we
yes,
have. Okay.
yes. Apples, oranges, figs, mangoes, papayas, grapes. A lot of grapes because we have a lot of wine that we
Right.
cultivate. So yes, absolutely.
Well, that's quite a bit more than grows here in Kansas because we're higher. We're a higher, what is it, latitude? We're much
Okay.
higher. And you guys, since you guys are below the equator, so
We are, I believe, subtropical.
yeah.
Are we not? I think we are. Yes. Our weather should be a lot like, if you think on the, you say latitude now, it should be this, it's a lot the same as the same country in, was it South America then? That is on the same latitude as we are, which is warmer country, more warmer weather, let me say.
Yeah.
Woo, tongue twister. If I run out of English, you know what I do on my live streams? If I run out of English, I start using 5 English words instead of 1. And then, or I just say, okay, this is the Afrikaans word. And it means, I was looking for a word called gusts. I couldn't figure out, what is the word? Gusts. So I said, a rukwind. The wind comes and it blows nicely, and then it just throws your window, bangs your window closed, and then it goes away nicely again. So what is that? I said, the chat. My chat is always so nice. They help me. And you just had gust, gust, gust. Everybody knew it was a gust. I'm like, yes, that's what it is, a gust winds. Because I thought, I don't want that. Because I sit by the window and I'm like, if it's nice, depends. I don't want to go. You go to the window, it's bang, you open it, and I'm like, where's that wind that just blew this window closed?
Sure. I remember one time, and it was going on for a couple of weeks on the 5 a.m. lives where there was another really nice lady that also lived in South Africa. And you'll know who I'm talking about in just a minute, but I was trying to say some South African words with the right pronunciation.
Yes. I remember we once had one whole live stream just about languages, because just before you went live, we started in the chat. We call this in South Africa, and in the chat that we call it here where we are, we call it this. And then you came on, and so when there was Afrikaans, which I think it was Ingrid's Inspirations, was it her maybe? And then we would say, okay, this is yes. Afrikaans is a lot like Netherlands. And Monique Smits, to us, that would be a typical Afrikaans name. So,
Monique Smits.
Yeah, I understand it. I can read it. Also, Flemish. Flemish is I want to say, even closer to Afrikaans. German, we were taught at school. So, it's a lot of the words is sei hoffentlich, which is hopefully in German, is hopelijk in Afrikaans. So where you say in German hoffentlich, you have an F and a K, where in Afrikaans you have a P and a K. So hopelijk, hoffentlich. So it's close. There's so many things that are so close. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I loved it when that whole conversation was going on, because my son was just teaching himself German, and so he was always practicing the way to pronounce everything, and he ended up going to Germany with my dad and actually being able to be the interpreter and talk to people, and it was he's very proficient in German now, but that was at a time when he was still at home. He was still in high school, and so he would be walking back and forth getting ready for school, listening to the me talk that in the conversation, trying
I remember very clearly.
Yeah, that was fun. Now, you know, the one thing that I have never been able to pronounce is the way Australian, I don't know whether it's Australian or New Zealand pronounces their O's, and it has kind of this weird R sound to it. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, oh, it's just a weird, the way they pronounce their O's. I like my mouth muscles will not move
Give
that way.
an example of a word.
Oh gosh, like, like, like home, but it'd be, oh, I can't do it. how, I can't do it.
I know. All I know about Australian accent is I recognize it when I hear it. I know they say like instead of like. It's like.
Yeah.
Like. It's like. So I have to also really like, how am I going to say this? Like instead of like.
Yeah. And I remember at the time there was one of my friends that was from Australia she was in the live, and I said, well, the only way I know how to say bake a cake is bake a kike. Apparently that's not really how they say it, because that made her like
But you're Afrikaans. When I remember that day when we typed it in you were quite spot on. I mean, when we like, for instance, you drive a truck, we drive a bakkie. We call it a bakkie. BAKKIE.
A bakkie.
Now, yes, exactly, a bakkie. But you guys call it a truck. But if you look it up, what it is, a picture of it, it is a truck to you. You call it a truck. We call it a bakkie. But then, what you call a truck, if we say truck, we mean lorry.
Okay.
Right?
That's like in the UK too.
Yes. So we were a British colony for a very long time. So we have we understand the British humor. We understand the American humor as well, because we get so much American TV. That you're wearing, Ursula, is amazing. It is actually a dress, sweetie. It's a dress.
Yes, I love
that I made. It's a tutorial on my channel. It's not a pattern, because to write this up as a pattern would have been like, but I have this thickness, which is like, I think it's a thin 3-weight, and I made one in 4-weight cotton. So it definitely is a dress. And yesterday, my daughter said, "Oh, Mama, I want one," because I said to her, you've come home now, strip, and we're just putting everything in the wash. And then I just took the other dress I had, because underneath the dress I have a spaghetti top and knee-high pants, ski pants on, like leggings. You call it leggings or whatever. So you wear that and you throw this over and you're dressed, right? So, I mean, minimum that you have to do. So it's just, it's a dress. That. So it goes full length. You can make it up to here, to your hips, and it's just a top. You can make it longer, up to your thighs, and it's, you can wear it over whatever, over your costume maybe, and then you make it full length, like I made mine, and it's a dress. So I've got 2 of them, and it's spring and fall is the perfect time, because now I can wear it like this. But if the weather changes and it's fall, then I start wearing a long sleeve t-shirt underneath. So it's not too hot. It's just that something, little bit of cotton that you need.
Right. So, it's kind of like what we call a jumper here. I mean, it's like jumper is different. Like some people call jumpers are like the pullover sweaters. But like I've seen, like whenever I would put jumpers on my girls, they were kind of like that. They were a little like loose fitting, comfortable dress over like a shirt and stretchy pants, something like that.
And it has what do you call it? Fringes, and it has a split on each side, so from the knee down, so that you can comfortably walk. It's not like you're in a kimono, it's you can walk comfortably.
Now, what stitches did you use on the side right there? On the side?
No, this is double crochet. This thing is so easy to make. If you're using a thinner yarn, thinner cotton, and you want the look of a granny square, I use trebles. But if you're, and I say this in my tutorial, I think it's a 3-hour long tutorial. My tutorials I make so that my daughter can understand it. If she has never made anything like this and she watches it, she must be able to make it first time around. So that's why I made a tutorial of this, calling it a rectangle or a square entrelac blanket, because I wanted one tutorial where she could go to and just watch this one tutorial and know everything, because I had to watch about 3 tutorials to learn this new thing. And I mean, this is what we do in the challenges as well. Once a month we come together and we challenge ourselves. What are you going to learn something new? Because if you just learn something new once every 6 months, or even 2 things a year, just keep it up. Just keep it up, because that's when you get, I mean, now I'm so in love with entrelac. Having seen it on behind your chair for the first time, falling in love with it, not even knowing what it is. I just knew I could create it with a crochet hook. But eventually, it took me about 2 years to get to the point of making it, but I didn't take it off my list. Don't take it off your list.
That is, and you know, it makes such a wonderful blanket or pillows, things like that, where you don't have holes. You know, there aren't any holes in entrelac fabric that, you know, like maybe granny square.
You can literally lift it up, and I said to Craig, I can't see you. I can't see you at all. I mean, it's not even like a granny square where I can peep through. No, I can't totally not see you. So
that's right. Beginner friendly. That's what we were looking for, Monique. Thank you.
Because my daughter loves to freestyle amigurumi. I taught her how to do that. She wanted to do that, and I said to her, well, we're not just going to do this. You book me. You want to do it next Saturday, that time? My time is not your time. It's my time. So you want my time? Book me. So boundaries.
That worked. I got to try that.
Of course it works. In my house it works. Then, so the next Saturday I said, okay, here we are. We show up. She sat behind me, and I sat in front of her. I said, you're going to look over my right shoulder. You're just going to do what I do, and then tell me when you're ready. So at the end of this making a little cat amigurumi, I turned around, and I see her holding her hook like this, knife grip. I'm like, I've never seen anybody do knife grip. What in the world? But I decided right there, I'm not going to say anything. As long as a cat is produced, that's fine. And so I had a cat. She had a cat. Say again, Ginger.
That's wonderful. I was going to say, did she end up making the cat?
She made the cat. And from then on, so it was single crochet and how to increase and decrease. That's all she learned. Then she started making these beautiful freestyle, because she can do a clay modeling, polymer clay 3D models out of a 2D picture. So now she did this in crochet. But now what if she wants to make something else? So I say, okay, I will make a tutorial of things that if you want to make a dress like this, you only have to watch the tutorial, and you should know everything from start to finish, which is why my tutorials are long. Because now my mom watched the tutorial for the entrelac. After 40-something years, she decided to pick up crochet again, and she went to the shop and just bought her favorite colors of yarn. Now what? Now you must make a blanket, but which pattern? Which what? And I said, well, I'm busy with this. I'm sure you will like this a lot. And she said, I don't know how to do this. So she watched the tutorial, but she came and sat down next to me. And you won't believe this. Not only she crochets like I've never seen. She holds it. You know how you would knit?
She holds it.
She holds it. She holds the yarn. She doesn't hold the yarn in the left hand and the hook in the right hand. No, she holds the yarn in the right hand and the hook, and she goes through and then over. And I'm like, I'm not even going to say a word. If the right thing is produced, then that is fine. Whatever works for you. All I said is, don't hang on for dear life. Feather touch, feather touch. So that's because the most common mistake with beginners is they hang on for dear life, or they don't hang on at all.
Yeah.
So get the tension right.
I remember way back in ancient history when I was first learning how to crochet, my biggest struggle was making the chain too tight and trying to
Yes,
get the hook in those little chains. It's
to
like,
get to
oh,
try and get it in again. Or especially with that, I said to
yeah.
her, I think we're going to start you with a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook because
Mhm.
I know you crochet tight. So let's just go in slowly, feather touch. So I
Mhm.
sat next to her. So every so often I see, and I say, feather touch, feather touch. Because she's my mother, and we, must show respect to our elders. But so how do I say to her, just breathe,
Loosen
feather
those,
touch.
loosen
Because
those
that's
fingers
why
up.
crochet is relaxing, because you breathe and you're supposed to have a certain, it is relaxing. So now she's halfway with her blanket, and I am so super proud. It's just like
That's
she says to
wonderful.
me the other day, can you believe, now my mom is your size, pint size, right? So she says, can you believe these little hands made it? I said, I can believe you can do anything, but I know that it's difficult for you to believe that you've made it, but you did it.
Mhm.
So anyway, so that is good. So the tutorial helped her. And by
That's
the way, I mean, the enclosed border. Have you've done mosaic? The
mhm.
enclosed border is actually for mosaic, but I find it on my
Ooh.
rectangle blanket.
Mhm.
It is perfect
Oh, sure,
because
because of all those ends.
the way I do it, the every every little diamond I teach in the tutorial, every little diamond should have all four sides stitches that you can work into. It must have it. If
Mhm.
it doesn't have it, you're wasting time, and you're going to be so disappointed because you've done all this work. Now you get to a certain point we have to come back and fill in, and there's nothing to work into. So it
Mhm.
must have on all four sides a place where you can put, so like a chain stitch or like
Sure.
a V, the V that you have there. It
Yeah.
should have the V where you can put your hook through. And so she realized this, that when you get to the end of your little diamond on the top, you're not finished. Go back, just go down with the chains, a
Mhm.
slip stitch, so that when you come back, there's something to work into. And she did it. So I'm just so proud of her that she's done that. So now Jessica's like, I want to do that. I want to make one. But hers will, of course, be, I'm making this is cushion cover in cottons for my
Mhm.
son, and for his, now this is what it looks like. So there is stitches, V stitches to work into all the
Mhm.
way. That's what you want. You want that. Now, if you've done mosaic, those of you who've done mosaic, you're literally going to use those beautifully to just work your chain stitches in. And from there on, you're going to work your enclosed border.
Ooh.
Easy peasy.
Now that's a good way to do that. I've never done it that way before. I've got, some other ways that I do the little V stitches, but I like that way too. That's a smart way to do it because
Yeah.
you've got to whenever you're doing a mosaic and I don't know when you do your enclosed border before you do that, do you prep it by going all around the outside, the outside edge of the blanket with
A slip
a
stitch.
slip stitch all the way around?
Yes, I
Yeah.
do. I've
Yeah.
done this one as well with pink. This is
Good.
this is one of my favorites, which is the Havana,
I love that.
and this is just scrap blues and
Mhm.
anything that resembles pink, more or less
Mhm.
close. And I just can't recommend this pattern high enough. Tina Thorwalders, Havana is a paid pattern, but it is so worth it if you're starting out because it's got so many. Michelle Mosaics and Crochet,
Mhm.
I went and asked her for advice when I started doing mosaic, and she gave me advice. Now I've sold 2 of my blankets. Now this one I made, and I said, this one's mine. I'm keeping this one.
You're keeping
So,
that one. Good.
and now on the wrong side, okay, on the wrong side, I finished the wrong side. Now again, I didn't follow the pattern because on the wrong side, I'm putting stripes,
Mhm.
just stripes that appear anywhere in this blanket. But
Sure.
now on the right side, I'm going to just take that pattern and just work it with I'm still deciding if it's going to be purple or blue on the browns, and it'll be I love that when she has a border and you have a pattern on the one side. I know it takes a lot of time, but it is so worth it, because the most expensive thing when you're making something crochet is time. So why waste it if you could make something spectacular? I mean, this one I made, the border on the one side looks like this, right? But on this side, it's like pink, a darker pink, dark brown, very dark brown, peat. It actually calls it P-E-A-T, peat. So it looks like an ombre effect. But on this side, it's just it's like a purple and then a rusty brown, and the same, that last few rows is the same. So you don't have to make it the same. And look, that is just, I'm going to be so toasty and warm in winter. So
they give such personality to your blankets. I mean, like, these kind of blankets are such, I mean, I love Granny Square blankets. I love regular blankets, but these have just like that extra personality.
You know what I like? Is it makes ugly yarn look beautiful.
It does.
I'm saying ugly yarn because since I learned how to do mosaic, I've had balls of yarn on my shelf, and I'm like, what can I do with you? And then when I learned to do mosaic, I'm like, oh, you're perfect for mosaic. Just about anything's perfect for mosaic. It's like, wow, suddenly the most, this is scrap. I love scrap projects because, you know, I don't have money to go and buy blanket quantity yarn. So what I do is, now I really push to get that one done, because I wanted to know how much is left. Because I want to do another project, and I needed to know, can I use this or not? Do I need it for this blanket still? Or can I now use it for the new one? So this appeared in that blanket. But now that that blanket's done, I can finish off this one. So that's why I only have like 3 projects. And I know Linda Simpson is the opposite of me. Linda Simpson Crochet, she's got many projects, and that keeps her calm. I only have 3 projects, and that keeps me calm. But that's how we differ, because what keeps you calm is not what keeps someone else calm. Many projects would freak me out, because it's like they're bugging, they're lying there, they're bugging me, they're like, come and finish me, why haven't you finished me? And I don't need that.
I'm the same way. That's what I like about the Scraptastic blankets is I like to be able to use a bulk amount of yarn. I just like a lot of yarn going through my hands and seeing what it makes. And not just that I want to hurry up and use it and get it done. It's I want to play with every single thing.
Enjoy the process. Yes. That's the whole thing, is enjoying the process. That's why when I did my Watch Me Crochet videos, I'm like, sit and watch, because there's people, and you know, the people who watch the Watch Me Crochet series are not always crocheters. It's people who had an aunt and a grandma, Oma, and a mother who used to crochet, who is now no more. She's passed away. And they miss this Oma watching her crocheting, or this aunt or sister or whatever. And now they like to, I always chop off my head. So you only see a part of me crocheting. So I could be anybody. Up here, I could be anybody. So there we go. And this is, you know, so it's like an ASMR thing. You can put your own music on. I know Mrs. C's cottage always says she likes Haladon music. I love Haladon music. That is like Haladon, H-A-L-I-D-O-N, Haladon music. It's different classical music. Man, you can type in classical music that's not boring, and they will have a thing that's not boring.
Oh, wow.
You don't even have to know classical music. You just type it in. Yeah. So
now, is that in the regular YouTube music? The
YouTube free. Not to use as a content creator, but to listen to as a viewer. Fantastic. Yeah, you just put your own music in there. I mean, we as content creators are a little bit, you know, curbed in what we can use because of copyright. But otherwise, if you're not worried about copyright and you're just a viewer, you just watch away.
Oh yeah.
Sit there next to me. My watch me crochet videos is usually an hour long. So I say, you got a project there that's lying there that you can't get through? Come and sit there next to me on a Sunday and do your hour and I do my hour. Do I sit in your lounge or are you sitting in my lounge?
And we
Something like that.
We both got our coffee or, you know, whatever, tea.
Yes, and you're not alone. So I just love watching people crochet. It just calms me down to no end. So I wish there were more people, and there are a few now that's doing it, and I love to watch it, just to sit there and watch it. And then that's one of my most favorite things to watch. And the second most favorite thing to watch is live stream replays. I know many people don't like to watch the replay, but I like to watch the replay because when you're in the live stream, you want to chat, which means you put down your hook and you chat, and at the end of the hour, you've only worked a little bit. But if you watch a replay, you know it's a replay. You're not required to talk. You're just listening. And it also feels like you're tuning in like we did in the 80s to a radio program. So you're entertained. I feel like I'm back in the 80s and I can crochet and listen.
Yeah, not have to worry about anything except just listening to it. Yeah, that's fun. And my sister, one of my sisters a couple of years ago asked me if I would ever do the just crocheting and playing music in the background like an ASMR, and I was like, I don't know. I just have never really thought of it. So, you know, I might try that. I might take your advice.
You
I might
should really try that, because even if I do it, it wouldn't be like you're copying me, because you're putting out your own take on Watch Me Crochet.
Sure.
Because you've got a different view of who's going to watch your video than I have. Maybe. I mean, I'm sure it differs because we all differ. So, I mean, I've watched others where I think Kapi did some amigurumi, and she also cut off her head, but you see her sitting on her lounge suite. Do you call it lounge suite? Couch.
Okay.
Couch. Ooh, you see, it's that time of the evening. I'm running out of English. And she was sitting there, and some of it is time lapse, but some of it is not. My idea is not to do time lapse, because it's not about getting it done fast. It's about, let's just sit next to each other and crochet for an hour. And even if I only get done, maybe what I would do is maybe show you me doing this row, a part of it, and then show you when I get to another color, maybe just for your viewing pleasure, change colors at least. But otherwise, no. I mean, people who really like to watch someone crochet, they don't care what color. As long as your hook is moving, all is good. Life is good. Just move that hook and get those stitches in. So
that's true. Speaking of, did you say, now I want to know what kind of, speaking of watching people crochet, I've been watching you, and like, what's your favorite size yarn? What's your favorite size hook? And what are your favorite stitches?
Okay, it'll have to be the granny square, because you don't have to look where you're putting in that hook, because you can really feel the gap and put in your 3 double crochets.
Sure. Yeah.
So by far, that is the reason why it's my favorite. But I love a 4 millimeter, and I love 3 weight, your double knit or 8 ply, as the Australians say. So that's my favorite go-to. And I love plain old acrylic. If I can get something fancier, great. But otherwise, we in this brand, they have brought out nearly every color in the rainbow you can think of and more, which is why I love it, because the palette, it's like a painting palette. I'm painting with yarn. Yes. I remember once Jessica was still in school, and she came to me. She was doing art, and she came to me that day. Now, I've told her many times, when I crochet, it feels to me like I'm creating a piece of art with the color palettes that I put in. Because my one friend asked me once, why must everything be so colorful? I said to her, she doesn't crochet. I said, why don't you try crocheting something in one color? I mean, I would die of boredom. I mean, unless I just put some time on one side and I say, okay, I'm going to do that for 1 hour maximum. I'm going to step away because this is my happy place. I need color. So, and she came to me that day home and she said, Mama, today we learned that Van Gogh used yarn to mix his colors and inspires his colors in paintings. I said, and she said, she told her teacher, my mother does the same. You know, when your child says something to the teacher and you're like inward cringing, on the outside you're proud that she actually took note and she listened to you, but on the inside you're like, yikes. And not really, not Van Gogh, like you say Van Gogh, we say Van Gogh. Not really there yet. Maybe not ever, but hey, we try our best.
That's right.
Don't you like the fact that mosaic makes us look so super clever? But it's not.
That was when I first learned mosaic crochet. I had just started my channel. I was just doing mosaic crochet. I just started it and I was like, oh my gosh, because so many people in the chat were like, wow, that must be super hard. And I'm like, nope, it's not.
Yes, but even Fiona says we look so smart when we do this mosaic and they walk by and see that this is very difficult. And I'm like, yes, it is.
It takes a lot of skill, you guys. It takes a lot.
Absolutely. So
yeah. Well, and you know, it's the same thing like with the entrelac. It's the same thing with the like tapestry crochet or color work, anything like that.
That's something I want to learn. Tapestry crochet. Ooh.
Oh, you will love it. Love it.
Can you've done some of that?
Oh yeah, a lot of it.
Ooh.
I made a whole last year. I just gave it to my son. He wanted it to hang up in his room, but it's a blanket made of the 12 astrological signs because I thought, oh, that'd be really cool to have. And so,
oh wow.
Yeah, so but you can make it with like different flowers or just anything you can think of. You can make with tapestry. Oh. You can print out a picture of somebody's face and like make the tapestry.
I've seen pictures and I thought, this is on my bucket list. I want to try this tapestry crochet at some point.
Listen, it's so easy. Have you ever heard of Stitch Fiddle or stitchboard.com? Basically what you do, it's a program you can get. You can use the free version or you can use the paid version. There's either an app or a website. I'm not quite sure what it is on my phone. But because you can, you know how you can hit the like on Safari or Google Chrome, you can hit the add to home screen. Sometimes I do that to websites, and when you do that, it looks like it's an app. So I don't know whether it's an app or a website, but I have them both. And you upload a picture and it'll break that picture down into
the graph. Pixelated.
Yes.
Yes.
And then you can say, hey, I only want like 35 pixels across, which will make it very choppy.
Yes.
You know? Or I think I want to do a really good one and make it 300 pixels across.
Oh, wow.
Which would make it a
huge
fantastic. Unless you were to use like a 2-weight or a 3-weight yarn, which would make it the picture very clear.
You know, Reggie from J Who Crochet has taught me that with finger weight, which one would think is terribly thin, I remember her comment that she made in one of her universities was, you can do literally anything with fingering weight.
Oh, absolutely.
And you can use a 4mm hook. And I thought, what? A 4mm hook?
I gotta show you.
And oh, look at that. You know what?
This is a little crop top out of fingering weight. It's Granny Square.
That's beautiful. I love that. Thank you. You know, there's something about a Granny Square that the message it always sends me is, when I was a child and I used to walk into someone's lounge. Oh, that's beautiful. I used to walk into someone's lounge and I used to see a Granny Square blanket. I immediately felt somewhere in this house is an Oma that will understand me and not judge me.
Right.
Oh, that one, I've made one. I'm going to make a whole blanket. I'm in love with it. I'm in love with, and it is really not that difficult.
Right.
That's the thing.
And
That's definitely something I want to make.
And I've been going back through some of my old squares, and like this is one of those, I'm just turning them all into squares because I've got a pile of squares
But
right
does
here.
that have a name? Does that have a name? That square that you've just put up there?
I think
that is a beautiful
sun. I need to find the link to it.
You
If
got
I have
it somewhere in a book? I've got books with a lot of squares. I mean, I'm old school, before 2005, before YouTube came, so I learned out of books. So
yeah. And here's a tapestry square, but I'm taking them all and I'm turning them into granny squares that have like 10 granny square things on the top. 10
clusters.
So, and here's one of them. But these are like different. You know how you make different squares because you're just like, I'm in love with this square. I don't know what I'm going to use it for.
Oh, even just the color. You make something because the color. Oh, I love that.
So this is one
I love that.
And it's.
I made a blanket with that kind of. Is that half double crochets?
This is single crochets. I
made a blanket with squares. You. I want to say cast on, not cast on. This is not knitting. You make 21. So 20 plus 1 for the turning chain, and 15 rows, and each square. And I made a memory blanket like that
with different yarns.
Because say I made this blanket, so I would use a little bit of this and make a little square and put it one side. Then I made, say, that blanket, and I would use 2 or 3 colors out of that and make little squares, put it one side. So once I had enough, which is 10 by 10, 100 squares, I actually put them together and made a blanket. My first blanket for me. I've made many blankets, but that was the first one I made for me. Because, and I tell you, one thing I learned was if you do half double crochets, rows, it's easy to connect them this way. But this way, I learned that you have to double up the yarn and go one size up. Otherwise, it pulls it.
I got to show. Speaking of that, I got to go grab something for you to look at.
Fantastic.
It's right here. I'm making, okay, you know how the half double crochet, I'm making a blanket like that with half double crochets.
Yes.
And it, when you, I'm crocheting as I'm attaching as you go. So it is, on one side, it makes the granny squares kind of like this, where they bow in on this side, because and then they go down like that.
Yes.
They all interlock like that, and so.
But that is, and I love your color choices there. But you know what I did on mine is a little bit of a plique hearts, and here and there a little rose, just where it was necessary. So if I did something and I wanted it to have a little heart on it, I would put a little heart on it, because eventually, I mean, I'm like a girl's girl, a girly girl. So I like that. It's not everybody's cup of tea. I also like what you've got there, even though it doesn't have a plique on it, but I love the color choices. You're going to make that bigger, or is that as far as you've got?
Nope,
or you're not going bigger?
It's about, I'd say, a quarter of the size, a third to a quarter of the size it's going to be. This is the Hobie Hobie Winter Glow yarn. And it's,
and what are you thinking for a border? What are you thinking for a border?
I'm just going to make it a simple border like this and get a nice, just simple edge for the border, maybe something that is a little lacy or something, but it's going to be all this color because I want to kind of emphasize these colors.
Those colors will pop.
And you don't you don't have to stitch the squares together because you crochet.
Yes, because you're joining as you go.
Yeah. So
there's definitely something to be said for join as you go.
Definitely.
I'm not a fan of it so far because of the projects I've done, but in that project, I love it.
It's just so clean. I mean, there's nothing to sew in at
I have
all.
never seen it joined like that. I've never seen it. Now, do you not plan on making a tutorial on how one can do that?
I did a live tutorial on this last year, and it's called the Wonderful Scrap Gan or something, because I was just using some of my Spurls Wonder
Then you're
yarn.
gonna put a hashtag somewhere and tell us, because now if someone wants to go look it up, where they're gonna find it in one of those live.
And I
Or maybe you should extract a bit of it. Extract some of it.
I could do that, or I could make one for bigger squares, because the one that I did on that one had kind of smaller squares, which is absolutely awesome.
Yes.
Too. You can make.
Oh, but for a tutorial, all you need is the technique. So
right.
Even if it's smaller squares, even if you just make 4 squares and you show us how to do it, I mean, that is like awesome.
Go take it out of that. I wouldn't even have to make a new tutorial. I could just go.
No, even just make 1 square and then say, okay, well, this is how I'm joining it to the blanket, and just have a camera right there. That's it. Yeah. That would be awesome. Sometimes we just, you know, if it's not a beginner, if you're not a beginner, all we want is that direction on. Tell us how you did it.
Right. And it's
just tell us how you did it.
It's so easy to do. This blanket, it's actually going pretty fast, but then I got distracted by a bunch of scrap yarn and stuff, and so I'm making scrap gans. I'm making these. I got distracted by the squares, so I'm making those into granny squares.
Can I ask you, have you ever made a temperature blanket?
I have never made a temperature blanket, because when I'm making scrap blankets, I can't have any kind of regulation as to what color comes next. I have to have.
No, I mean, I made a temperature blanket once. I absolutely loved it, and I only worked on it in a 3-hour period. So it would be Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon or Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon on the weekends. And after that year, I was lost, because now there was no temperature blanket, and I'm used to my 3-hour slot where I go sit, do my 7 rows, pack it away in the see-through container on the bookshelf. I can see it. I'm visual, so I like to see things, but I like it to be neat as well. So see-through tubs, or just not even big tubs, work for me as you know, because I don't go out with my projects, and even if I would go on a holiday, I would put it in the boot in that tub, because I'm working out of a tub with a blanket. And so that is awesome just to see it, you know. Anyway, we can be talking all day long.
I think crocheters are kind of creatures of habit. I don't know. I'm speaking for myself, but it's nice to, like, when I walk in a room and I have a project already sitting there, that I'm like, I don't have to think. I just sit down and crochet with the yarn and the project that's right there. And someday it'll be done, but I don't have to worry about when it's going to be done, because that's the project. It's right there. And then it's like when you finish a project, I don't know if you feel this way, but it's like ending a book. And especially if there's a series that the book, and it's like, what am I going to do now?
Yes. Actually, I tell you what, I used to feel so lost when a project was ended. And because I don't have a lot of projects, I used to have a lot of projects. I can tell you, I used to have a lot of projects. And then once I decided I'm going to stop this, and I gave away everything that wasn't 3-weight. So that amounted to 4 bags, big black trash bags. It wasn't trash. I gave it to someone that I taught how to crochet. But I then only was left with 3-weight. And I decided not to buy any yarn until all my projects were done. It took all of 24 months, which is 2 years not buying yarn. And after that, I just never went back to so many projects. 3 projects is my limit. I can control it, and you know, there it is. So that's what I like to do.
That's good. And
but now that's why I've got more than one. So this one's finished, but I'm busy with this one's border, so I'm not lost. There's always a blanket, a mindless thing on the go. So can't have nothing. You need your mindless thing.
That's right. And that gives, I'm trying to not get as much yarn, like not buy as much yarn. I've been working on that because I want to work through the yarn I have
Well, that's a different hobby.
to kind of,
That's a different hobby.
it's a total different, but my mom's going to be giving me some yarn pretty soon. And I'm like, what am I going to do? It's like an existential crisis.
Yay!
Like, how do I work through all this yarn? But at the same time, it's a very good feeling because it's like, oh, I've got so much yarn to use. And
but it's so inspirational to have that yarn wall up there. I mean, you look at it and to sit there and look at it, it would, man, it's more inspiring than falling in the Pinterest hole.
It is, because like whenever you go into a yarn store or something, does your brain just start like, I don't even think of what I can make. I just think that I can do things and I want to get it all.
I look at the colors and I'm like, ooh, this one will go nice with that one, with that one, with that one, and that would be nice in interlac in my lounge. Ooh, this. Ooh, beautiful mosaic. See, that's the thing with mosaics. Mosaics make any yarn looks good in mosaic. So
absolutely. And then if you're the kind of person who doesn't like to get a whole bunch of one color, it's like you see all of these colors and you're like, I want to have one of every single color. You can, because then you just make it. It's the best.
Absolutely.
I'm getting all hot. I'm getting excited about the yarn now.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, I want to say thank you. Thank you for getting me up here today. I was a bit nervous, guys. I was saying I want to say, Yarn Geek, Ginger. Yarn Geek has a name, Ginger. I wanted to say to Ginger, I'm a bit nervous. I remembered, I thought, when was I last on her live stream? Oh, it was with Reggie. But, it's like you say, it is just hanging out, and I just love it. I think the live streams is absolutely, to me, a godsend because it fights loneliness, which is now an epidemic. So
very much. Yeah. Thank you so much for
coming. It
coming.
just lifts me up. If I'm not feeling well or I can't sleep at the night, I remember one night I was particularly not feeling well, and I came into Jessica's room and she wasn't here, and I went on and someone was live, and it was just so nice to meet up with people I know, even though I was in pain. I could say, hi guys, I'm here lurking. It's middle of the night. I can't sleep. And everybody's just always so friendly. It's just, we need that. We need that place where we can go and just, someone's always happy when you walk through that door to see you. And in our case, it's like a portal. You go through the portal, and they're always happy to see you.
No matter what. You. That's right. No matter what. No matter what yarn street we live on, we've got the portals in our yarn rooms that we can go talk to each other. And,
I love that.
And before we go, I wanted to let everybody know you've got, if in case you don't know, you've got a Facebook group that you've got going on Facebook. You've got your Ravelry where you can find all your patterns. Of course, your YouTube channel. You're almost to 10,000 if you guys have not subscribed.
That's happening faster than I thought it would, so I'm quite surprised. But yes, there's if you're looking for anything clothing to make, I have a playlist called Wearables. So you can just go and check that out. On the Facebook group, if you post anything on the Facebook group on a Monday's live stream, I actually go over to the Facebook group and show off what you've made or posted, because there's many people who don't have a channel and they don't want a channel, but they want to share what they've made. And that's one way that I can bring your stuff over to YouTube and show it to the YouTube crowd. Or if you're in the chat and you don't have a channel, but you want to show to everybody else, then I just go to Facebook and you must fill in the questions, because it's a private group, because there's crazies out there. We want to keep it safe for everybody.
Yeah, there aren't too many crazy yarn people, and if they are crazy yarn people, there are kind of crazy. So.
No, it's the other people people who want to join the group, and I'm like, what? You're a guy? You're into skiing? You're into sport? I checked out your profile. There's not a piece of yarn in sight. So I don't think so. Not today. Not today, anyway.
there's only 6 pictures and they're all lifting weights.
Yes. Like, no.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on here today again, Ursula. This has been so
Oh, it was fantastic. And thank you all for having me. And it was great just speaking to you again. And yes, fantastic.
And bye, everybody in the chat. We will see you later over on Ursula's Lives and over here.
Tomorrow my time.
Ooh, tomorrow your time. That would be Eastern time.
This time tomorrow. The same time that you've been on now.
Okay.
Same time tomorrow on my channel, usually on a Friday.
And be sure to click that notification bell on Ursula's channels on OMGrannySquare so that you will know and you'll be here. There. Okay, everyone. Bye.
Bye.